Hey everyone, today we are talking about my experience shooting with the Rolleimat AF point-and-shoot film camera. This is most likely a camera that you haven't heard of before because it is actually kind of limited and was only made for a short amount of time back in early 1980, 1981, and there was only about 60,000 of these cameras produced. I actually just randomly stumbled upon this camera at a store called George's Camera here in San Diego, California, and I looked at it, I tried it out, I felt it in my hands, and I said, this might be a fun camera just to try out. I bought it for $155 US, which is definitely high on the market. I can see on eBay they go between $100 and $120, but it was right in front of me. I knew it was working. It had been serviced by George's Camera, so I said, why not try it out and see what it can do. Like I mentioned, this camera is a point-and-shoot film camera, meaning that it's pretty much ready to go out the gate. Everything is auto on it. There's no manual settings to change, except for your film speed, your ISO, but that is with every single film camera. Besides that, it is a completely programmed auto, ready to shoot, point-and-shoot camera. The body of the camera is honestly my least favorite part. I like the shape of it. I love the shape, but the actual material is pretty much just this really cheap plastic material, which does speak to the tier of camera that it was in at the time. As the name suggests, AF, it does have autofocus, but in my experience, it's pretty much a single autofocus point right in the center. So if you do want to focus on something that's outside the center, you first have to focus in the center and then recompose your image before pressing the shutter all the way down. Kind of weird, but again, I am glad that it has autofocus to begin with. The camera has a fixed 38mm focal length lens on it. That is an f2.8 lens, and it supports film speeds up to ISO 400. I actually did not know this. I just happened to buy a roll of ISO 200 gold, so I was totally good with that. But if you do buy this camera, just know that it only supports up to ISO 400. One other random good feature about this camera is that it has a big built-in flash on the upper left corner that you can toggle on with this switch right here on the front of the camera. The flash is good. It's obviously not amazing, but for the size of the camera and this being a point and shoot, I was pretty happy with it. The only thing that's pretty common across all these cameras that have built-in flash is the recycle time. The recycle time on this is literally like 10 to 15 seconds. It takes forever to be able to use the flash again, but I am happy that I have it as a feature on this camera. The viewfinder on this camera, I'll just say it absolutely sucks. I don't know if mine is just foggy after being like 40 something years old, but it is absolutely terrible. It's basically like blurry. It's not very usable at all, but it's the only way to know how you're composing your shot. So I just live with it. It's totally fine. It gets the job done, and it does have a bit of an indicator in the viewfinder to tell you where it's focusing on by the use of 3 different icons. There's a single person icon, there's a 3-person icon, and there's a mounting image. And that will tell you, or a bit of a gauge of where the camera is focusing. So if I'm shooting you from this distance, but the focus is on the mounting image, then I know that the focus is not working. So I need to maybe step back, refocus, recompose, and make sure that the focus dial is on that single person outline. Okay, so besides the really bad viewfinder, besides the really cheap plastic body, besides the flash that takes forever to recycle, how are the actual images? Really good. Normally with point and shoots, I expect them to look really cheap, really quick and easy like a disposable camera, and that is true for most point and shoot cameras. I especially thought it would be true for a cheaper point and shoot camera like the Rolleimat AF, but the pictures are surprisingly really good. I asked a few of my friends what camera they thought I shot these on, and a lot of them said cameras like the Canon AE1, Pentax K1000, more higher tier cameras that are much more manual and not just really cheap plastic point shoots like the Rolleimat. I'm like randomly shocked with how good the images are. Are they perfect? Obviously not, but they are better than most regular point shoots and definitely most disposable cameras out there, which was a really pleasant surprise. The focus was tack sharp when it did focus. The colors are fantastic. The dynamic range is fine for a point shoot. It's not incredible, but it is good, especially on a tougher film stock like Kodak Gold 200. The colors are really nice. It is a really sharp image. I really don't have a lot of complaints with the actual photos from this camera, and therefore it's a really good camera. Like, this thing shoots pictures that are, I think, above its weight class for a camera that was only, for me, 150 bucks US. And it does look cool. Like, it's actually like a perfect, really vintage looking point and shoot film camera. It's all black, it's sleek, it's great. I'm really pleasantly surprised that I bought this camera in general. I would say if you are looking at this camera, then definitely pick it up if it is south of that $150 price tag. Then it might be worth it for you. If it's north of that, it might not be worth it. It might be worth looking at other options that have more features, are more manual, and are built a lot better quality than this guy. But as a great alternative to a disposable camera that I can bring on hikes, I can bring to the beach, and not really worry about it getting destroyed because it already is kind of cheap, this is a great find. Thanks so much, guys, for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and do not forget to subscribe. Until next time, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.